Good morning. I'm the Reverend Medora Gordon, and this is Unity in Marin. Merry Christmas, everyone, and a wonderful, wonderful time of year it is. So welcome here. We're glad to have you. We're glad that we're here and you're here. Wherever you are and wherever you're from, you are welcome in this place. So we move forward now into a song that we traditionally sing here, always on this Sunday. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeannie. What a blessing to have you in the community. It's wonderful, the talent that is here in this place. For those of you that are new, we welcome you, and we have a special text number that you can text on your phone, and then you just put in the word welcome, and that instantly gets you involved with all of the things that are going on here. So I encourage you to sort of get in the loop, get with the group, find out all the things that are possible, even at this time, when things are closed, when things are shut down. We are not. There is a lot going on. It's sort of an underground movement, and we're thrilled to be able to do all of it. There are a couple of announcements that I need to make this morning. One is that Reverend Tim is in Wichita visiting his family. So that's why I am here, and the staff is here, and we're all supporting him in what he needs to do to be with his mother and his brother and the people who also need him. So he is home, I'm trying to remember, this coming Wednesday or Thursday. I think he's home by New Year's. So we welcome all of you, and we want you to know that Tim will be back soon. There will not be a virtual courtyard today because Tim generally runs that. And since it's the holiday season, we're giving everyone a breath. So those of you that do the Zoom call, the Zoom virtual courtyard, where everyone gets together and talks over the service and checks in on how they are on this given day, we can do it next week. So please, thank you for doing it, but know that it won't be today. Also, in addition, these services that you see are broadcast only. We are, thanks to the state of California, we cannot have anyone here. So we are recording, live streaming, and there's no one here but the traditional faithful crew and me. So thank you, everyone. We're now going to have some more music, and I look forward to it this time of year. Thank you.
Okay. Mark?
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens,
2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds,
3 French hens,
2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 gold rings.
4 calling birds,
3 French hens,
2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese a-laying, 5 gold rings.
4 calling birds,
3 French hens,
2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 swans a-swimming,
6 geese a-laying, 5 gold rings.
4 calling birds,
3 French hens,
2 turtle doves
And that partridge in that pear tree.
On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 maids a-milking,
7 swans a-swimming,
6 geese a-laying, 5 gold rings.
4 calling birds,
3 French hens,
2 turtle doves
And that partridge in the pear tree.
On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 ladies dancing,
8 maids a-milking,
7 swans a-swimming,
6 geese a-laying, 5 gold rings.
4 calling birds,
3 French hens,
2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 lords a-leaping,
9 ladies dancing,
8 maids a-milking,
7 swans a-swimming,
6 geese a-laying, 5 gold rings.
4 calling birds,
3 French hens,
2 turtle doves
And a partridge in a pear tree.
On 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 pipers piping,
10 lords a-leaping,
9 ladies dancing,
8 maids a-milking,
7 swans a-swimming,
6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings.
4 calling birds,
3 French hens,
2 turtle doves,
and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming.
11 pipers piping.
10 lords a leaping.
9 ladies dancing.
8 maids a milking.
7 swans a swimming.
6 geese a laying. 5 golden rings.
4 calling birds,
3 French hens,
2 turtle doves, ah,
4
bridge,
In
a
Pear
tree.
bum bum.
Many thanks to our brave and wonderful choir for this fabulous rendition of the 12 Days of Christmas. That was a specific request because it ties to my talk, but I have to say that I probably shouldn't give the talk. We should just play this again. It'll be fine. Anyway, many, many thanks to the wonderful people who make all of this possible, including these 12 fabulous people. I also want to say that a few things to thank for here is that we have Carolyn Gauthier, who puts the platform together. And I don't know if you've noticed how pretty it all looks with the tree and the candles. And it is so lovely this time of year. And I want to thank Carolyn for her constant creativity and beauty that she brings to what we are doing. Also on the platform, you will find that we have our prayer box. Now, the prayer box traditionally, when we're open, is brought in by a prayer chaplain. And this is the place where you put your prayers on a piece of paper. Later you will see that there is a way to do this all virtually online. And what we do with it remains the same. The prayer chaplains, there's a private silent prayer circle. It isn't private, it's silent prayer circle. Takes your requests from the box weekly, prays over them for 10 days, and then sends them to Unity Village. Unity Village then also has a silent prayer team. They pray over your requests for a month. So your request will be all prayed up. All you have to do is let us know that you're doing it. Thank you so very, very, very much. We're going to go now into just a brief ministerial prayer. This is a time of year when we all are praying for something. There's a lot on everyone's mind. There's a lot on everyone's heart. Let us come together for a moment now. Feet on the floor, breathing in the very sacred space. Each of us has our own sacred space, and yet it all comes together into one amazing whole. So please join me now as we pray. We pray for all those who are struggling, suffering, recovering from this pandemic. We know that the healing power of the universe flows through us all the time. And what we do is we pray especially this time for that recovery. We pray also for our country, for where we are, for how sort of disrupted many people feel. We also know that we all come together in peace and love, and it's up to us to make it so. We also pray this morning for the wonder and beauty of the world and how grateful we are for one another. So we come now all together in prayer, praying for all of us and for each other. And so it is. Amen.
Now moving into our time of daily word and meditation. Today's word is release. I take the best and leave the rest. Our experiences of this past year have brought us gifts of insight and new perspectives and many chances to grow and stretch ourselves. And perhaps the opportunity to develop a skill that serves us in our work or brings greater enjoyment to our leisure time. Some experiences have certainly been painful and difficult. These too have offered their gifts. We accept all that has come our way. With gratitude, we bless it all. We find the gifts and release what no longer serves our growth. Assured that God is our dependable source, we release any pain of a financial setback. In the joy of restored health, we release any memory of illness. Grateful for all modes of connection, we release any pain of loneliness. We move forward feeling lighter, cleansed and renewed for our journey forward. And from Isaiah chapter 43, do not remember the former things or consider the things of old. And now for a minute or so of silent meditation, take this to heart. I take the best and leave the rest. In the silence. Do not remember the former things or consider the things of old. Take the best and leave the rest.
Underpinning the days of Kwanzaa are the qualities of peace, caring, and kindness. While reflective of this time of year, they do not end when the day ends. It is reflective of the words of Howard Thurman about the holidays, who said, "When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins. The work of Kwanzaa begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among people, to make music in the heart." So this song reflects the work of the heart that is integral to the inner work of Kwanzaa. It is called "We Can Be Kind." So many things we can't control, so many hurts that happen every day, so many heartaches that pierce the soul, so much pain that won't ever go away. How can we make it better? How can we make it through? What can we do when there's nothing we can do? We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And one day we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Nobody really wants to fight. Nobody really wants to go to war. If everyone wants to make things right, then why are we always fighting for? Can no one ever see it? Can nobody understand that the power to heal is right here in our hands? So we can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And it's not enough to talk about it. It's not enough to sing a song. We must walk the walk about it. You and I, do or die, we've got to try to get along. We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And one day we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And one day we'll find,
Isn't she wonderful? My goodness, what a gift to have Dr. Cindy Acker among us. So indeed, we can be kind. You know, I always like to give the talks on this Sunday because it's still part of Christmas. And I like reminding myself and others that really, I know the 25th has come and gone, but we are in the third day of the Christmas season. You know, the 12 days of Christmas is a period in Christian theology that marks the span between the birth of Christ and the arrival of the wise men, or the returning of the light. And for many years I lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and it's a wonderful, wonderful place to be at Christmas. There's candles, and Christmas Eve is a big thing, and it's wonderful, but the real party was the one with the return of the wise men. And I cannot even begin to tell you how much joy it brought everyone to have the return of the light. So just as a little sidetrack for a minute this morning, I know our topic today is to believe in the magic, and I want you to believe in the magic. I want all of us to believe in the magic. So let's talk a little about what is this magic that I'm speaking of. It's pretty straightforward. In 567, that the Council of Tours, they proclaimed that the 12 days of Christmas, from Christmas to Epiphany, that's the 5th of January, it was declared as a sacred and festive season, and that everyone needed to spend a lot of time preparing for it, and everyone needed to celebrate it, or else. The reason for the or else is that, you see, the Romans had an administrative problem. As they expanded the Roman Empire, they began to take in places that didn't have their calendar. So you had this conflict going between the Julian calendar, which was solar-based and seasonally based, and it didn't coordinate with the lunar calendar that was from the east. So as the Roman Empire collapsed, it got too big, essentially, and they couldn't control it. As it collapsed, Christianity rose, and then we really had a conflict. So what they did was they moved the belief system from the seasonal solar-based Julian calendar to the more story or tale-based lunar calendar. So hence we came with the 12 days of Christmas. We began to have this period from the solstice to Epiphany, and it began to be that the winter solstice celebration from the Julian calendar and the birth of Jesus celebration from the more Christian calendar came together into this 12 days. 12 days gave everybody a little room. You could sort of fudge and figure out what you wanted to do, and there was one major celebration at this time of year. Now, it's always been a magical time. Ancient peoples were very concerned, really concerned, when they discovered that the light was going away, the light from the sun and the fall and the richness, and suddenly it was darker longer, and it was a fear. There was a great fear amongst early peoples that the light wouldn't come back. They didn't understand the changes and shift in season, but they were afraid that it wouldn't come back. So this history and this tale making between light and dark made its way into Greek mythology. So you had gods of light, you had gods of darkness, and they would battle with one another until the god of light won. Now, early Christianity then inherited both the biblical sense, the story, and the Hellenistic, or the more philosophical sense of that calendar, and that came together in this symbolism of light and dark. Originally, Christ, Jesus, was seen as the Sun, S-U-N, of righteousness. And early Christians truly saw nothing wrong with celebrating nativity over the date of the pagan Roman festival. So we tend to think of it, oh, it was Son, S-O-N, Son of God, oh yes. But really overlaying that was the fact that it was Son of righteousness, the return of the light for which everyone was very, very grateful. Now, as for the 12 days of Christmas, the choir did a wonderful job with it. I love what they did, and it's exactly what it is. All right? I wish I could tell you that the song was dealing with some deep mystical theological meaning, and years people have spent trying to say, oh, well, the maids of milking meant that, and the swans of swimming meant this. But the truth of the matter is it didn't have any meaning at all like that. The exact origins of the song are kind of lost in the mists of history, but it is highly probable that it originated from a children's memory song that was a game that was played on Twelfth Night. It was a game that the children played. And originally, games were not necessarily encouraged because everyone worked and worked hard and didn't celebrate and didn't stop. So a game from that period would have more of a festive feel to it, and it wasn't something that was done year-round. So, frankly, 12 Days of Christmas is some kind of festive memory game that the children played. The best-known English version didn't arrive until about 1780. And at that point, the participants were required to repeat a piece of poetry that was given to them by the teacher, to repeat it from memory. If they couldn't repeat it, they were required to pay with a kiss, possibly, or a candy, possibly. So it was a give and a take. I give you the piece, you have to say it. If you don't, we get to kiss. Now that's not all bad, so it's not an all bad song. There have been lots and lots of people working to try to come down to what it really meant, and trying to add to it that there was this importance from each piece of the song. And actually, it turns out that the 12 Days of Christmas is more of an urban myth. I know most of you probably know about Snopes, snopes.com, where you can look up tales that you hear, and they do their very best to see if in fact those tales are true. So if you put 12 Days of Christmas into Snopes, what you find is that it was not tied to anything theological, that it was not some sort of surreptitious Catholic teaching, and it's all highly questionable as to whether or not there was any difference at all between the 12 gifts and the Protestant version of a swan versus the Catholic version of a swan. So none of that needed to be secretly recorded, and that all is one of those tales that is probably better left not spread. Now, aren't you glad that we have figured all that out? So now we have the final tale, and that's wonderful, but this is Christmas, this is church. I'm supposed to have some deep theological meaning for you, and so far all I have done is rattle on about this funny song. So, where's the metaphysical magic in French hens? This is the third Sunday. It's 3 French hens. And there have been all kinds of tales about what they mean and what they are, and the fact of the matter is they were hens. And if you look at the pictures of them that they put up on the website in various places, they actually look a little more like roosters. So the fact is, but you know, there's something about 3 French roosters that just doesn't quite do it. So where's the metaphysical meaning of 3 French hens? Well, French hens, it turns out, are carefully reared in a tiny area of France to this day, and they are famed because they have blue feet. All right? Not much metaphysical there. Their story begins in 1591, when the hens were sighted for the first time in the annals of this particular little village. It's a French village named, I got it right, Bourg-en-Bresse. It seemed that King Henry IV had stopped at Bresse because he had some kind of problem with his carriage. And so they gave him dinner, and one of the things that they served him were French hens. He so fell in love with the meat that he demanded that French hens become part of the menu of the castle. So everywhere he went, they had to find and bring French hens for him to eat. So to this day, they're called poulets de Bresse, are raised according to strict government controls in France, in the same village that they were raised in 1541, and they are considered one of the 4th gastronomical miracles of the world. Okay? So, now we know about hens, now we know how good they are to eat, but what is the metaphysical meaning of this? And you know, the more I do metaphysics, the more I study, it's one of those things that you're never done. You can never, ever say, okay, well, I've got my metaphysics down, I'm all finished. You're never, ever done with it, really. And the more of it that I do, the more that I really believe that every single thing has some kind of metaphysical meaning if we'll just look for it. Well, I couldn't find French hens in my favorite go-to book, which is the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. There was just no mention there of French hens. But here in Unity, we do believe that we are all one, and that includes the animal world. It isn't just human beings, it's animals as well. So if it includes the animal world, then it also, metaphysics, includes my French hens. So, if we go to the animal totem world, we find that it turns out that hens showing up in our lives may, in fact, be sending us a clear message that we need to reevaluate our responses to the things that are going on in our lives. Oh. We hear all the time about the need for us all to reevaluate our responses. We're not happy. We're mad on this side. We're not mad on that side. We're yelling. We're carrying on. We, all of us, need to reevaluate our responses. And here are these French hens asking us, are we responding out of fear? Are we responding out of love? Are we backing down when we should be standing up? Does a hen represent useless chatter or unhealthy gossip? Are we distracted listeners? Or are we trying to hear, trying to listen to what each other is saying? You know, French hens can be a symbol of our very, very great potential. And in order to achieve our dreams, we must find the courage to overcome our fears. So, if we go back to the failed conspiracy hearing of the 12 days of Christmas, where they thought that perhaps this was some sort of secret catechism, one of the things that we can get from that is that in that world, 3 French hens stood for faith, hope, and love. Now that's a theme in the Bible, you know, the greatest of these, faith, hope, and charity. Faith, hope, and love. And there is where we find the magic. That's where it arrives, in faith, in hope, and in love. So, if we begin with faith, According to Charles Fillmore, who's one of Unity's co-founders, faith is the most important power that we have. Faith is our perceiving power of the mind, linked to the spiritual assurance that we can do the seemingly impossible. I'm going to repeat that. Faith is the assurance that we, each of us, can do the seemingly impossible. That is the deep inner knowing that we can do what we think we cannot do. The deep inner knowing. You know, Martin Luther King tells us that faith is taking the first step on a stairway that you can't even see. It's a starting out. It's a beginning. Faith. You just do it. You walk out on it. That's faith. Now, in faith, we overcome our fears and we stand up. And when the going gets rough, we don't have to hide. Faith is our belief that we can stand and speak our truth. Another way of overcoming our fears is what we would call hope. Now, I prefer to use there a word called vision. I like vision better than hope. It's a little more active word. Nothing wrong with hope, but vision for me is a better word. Metaphysically, hope is the expectation of good in the future. And vision is the same way. We think somehow, oh, I have a vision, but I'm not living my vision, not right here, not right now. My vision is something that is out there somewhere. Well, I think the difference between hope and faith is that faith is the certain knowledge that our good is ours right now, right here, in this place. Even though it may not look like it, it is right here, right now. It's not somewhere off in the future. It's not me holding on to a vision that, oh, everything will be better in January. Everything will be better once we get the vaccine. Faith and vision has to do with how we are living right here, right now, in this place. Rosa Parks stood up rather than sit in the back of the bus. And she tells us that when our minds are made up, knowing what must be done simply goes away. Our fears simply leave. When we know what must be done, fear goes away. So each of us must stand up now, not next week or in some mysterious, hopeful time in the future. If we are to make the world a better place, we must do it now. Finally, we restore the magic of the season of the time. We restore it with love. Metaphysically, love is the pure essence of our being, the spirit that binds us all together. Love is that inter-quality in each of us that sees good everywhere in every one. Love conquers all, but it is each of us that must make it happen. It is not a throwaway phrase. The real question is whether or not our anger, our grievances, our resentments, are those the thoughts we live with day to day? Or does the magic of our faith, our vision, our love, does that magic rule our talk? You know, we really do have to love our neighbors and the immigrants and the politicians and ISIS and the guy that cut us off in traffic. And that's the hard part. We really do have to love all of those people. We have to love if we're going to restore the magic of the season. But you know, standing up for our principles takes courage. Courage is our ability to face danger, face difficulty, face uncertainty, face pain. It's our ability to face all of this without being overcome by our fears. I know there are days when really I'd rather get in bed and pull the covers over my head and hope that it'll all just go away. I get that. But courage is our ability to get up every morning and face it all one more time. When we see something happening that just doesn't seem right, what are we afraid of, really? Are we afraid of retribution? Are we afraid of disapproval? Maybe we're afraid that somehow it'll mess with our image. But courage is about setting aside our fears. Courage is about taking action for the good of the whole. It takes a certain level of courage to disagree with what may appear to be trending at the moment. I know how it is. Our voices tremble, our hands shake, our stomach feels like, golly, it's probably a life or death struggle. Sometimes it just is physically almost impossible to take a step forward. But the magic of courage is about facing the difficulties and not being overcome by them. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be anything other than we are facing the things that frighten us the most. So here, on the third day of Christmas, the last Sunday of 2020, this God-forsaken year, and I, like you, am so grateful and glad to see that we are moving on. I think each of us ought to have a Zoom call and check in with our 3 internal French hens and find out how we're doing in faith, hope, and love. Let's reevaluate our responses. Let's take a look and see what is really going on in our lives. Let's take this time, take a moment. We have time right here. It's a good time to take that moment to check in. Check in and remember that it takes courage to be us. It takes courage to do the things that we have set out for ourselves to do. But I know that we can do it. I know that we are strong. I know that we are brave. And I know that we, all of us, everyone, wherever we are located, whatever we do and are being in this life, we, all of us, can make the world a better place. I would like for you to join me in the denial and the affirmation. I didn't write it down to get it up on the board or to get it up on the screen, but you won't have any trouble remembering it. I'll say it first, then I'll go back, we'll say it again, and we can say it together. The first thing is the denial. We have to sweep away the things we don't want. So the denial is fear has no power over me. So we come together now, wherever we are, sitting at home, watching what we're doing, and we put down our coffee cup, and we say in a loud and brave and courageous voice that fear has no power over me. And then quickly, the affirmation is to fill up the space. So equally or quickly, equally with the same voice, the affirmation is, I am living in the magic. I am living in the magic. And so it is. Amen.
wait to see our finest gifts we bring.
Come, they told me, a newborn king to see, our finest gifts we bring, to lay before the king. So we honor him, when we come. Every child must be made aware. Every child must be made to care, caring not for his fellow man, to give all the love that he can. Little baby,
Can it be?
I stood beside him, I played my drum for him, I played my best for him,
Peace again. Peace on earth.
in my drum. Peace on earth. Can it be?
Okay.
It's my very, very great pleasure to introduce Jim Walsh. All of you know him already, I think. Anyway, this is our Faith in Action hero, the man who's the head of the team, and he's going to talk to us a little bit this morning about an update of how we're doing in terms of Faith in Action, which, as most of you know, is our annual pledge drive. It's the thing that keeps the doors open. So, without any further discussion, Jim.
Thank you, Medora. I am Jim Walsh, and I am chair this year of the honor and privilege of being chair of the Faith in Action Committee. And what that means is I get to meet every week with a group of 9 very awesome individuals who are going someplace where no one in Unity has ever gone before, and that is to conduct a fundraising committee in the middle of a pandemic. God got a sense of humor. You got to know. So I just, first of all, want to honor and thank those of you who continue to show up and work day and night on this project and help us move this along. I actually, before we go to the slide, if I may, Medora, I loved what you had to say about living in the magic and courage. And so I'm going to ask, we're at the midpoint of this campaign. And I'm going to ask if those of you watching at home, those of you here in the sanctuary, will just take for a moment to give a bit of prayer of support to those who are toiling through challenging times. And this isn't just the committee, it's the staff here, it's the ministers, it's the prayer chaplains. They're working night and day to keep the spiritual roof on the place. And if just for a moment we could take a nice, quiet, deep breath. and be in gratitude for all that is, for the one power and presence that is God the good, for our place here as godlings, as God acting through us and as us, knowing that there is no end to the abundance, to the joy, the love, the health that lies there for us. It is simply up to us to open and receive it. And let us now, as a congregation, let us open and allow and state through the statement of our preferences and desires an even greater level of abundant health, joy, love, and prosperity and flow and support to those who are creating this program. Thank you. Connect, slide next, please. So we're about halfway through the program. We have had 62 pledgers, and we're about a quarter of the way to our goal. So this is halftime with the Newt Rockney speech in terms of like, we've got to go get him in the second half, guys. All right, we have our work cut out for us. And first of all, I just want to mention that we have several kind of entities within Unity that have been pledging. Our own board of directors is 100% pledged. Our Faith in Action Steering Committee is 100% pledged. Want to acknowledge you all for your generosity and follow through, as well as all the rest of the 62 who have made pledges this year. On that topic, note that this is the last week you can make a contribution via check, cash, or credit card and get a tax deduction for the year. So just saying, Thursday's the 31st. It's the last day for charging something through the credit card. We're going to show you how to do it after the testimonial, how to make a pledge. It's very easy to do. And also regarding those who have been continuing pledgers, those who have pledged through 2020, we have sent out 3 emails. We're in the process of getting a snail mail letter out to you if we have your mailing address. And in that letter, we're indicating this, as I am now, if we have not heard back from you, we're simply going to continue your pledge at your current level. If you would like to change that, if you would like to up your pledge, please click through, follow the directions after the testimonial. Again, we'll show you how to do it. And if that's an issue, we'll show you how to get a hold of Dory to make an over-the-phone pledge. Let's see, Connect, what's up next? Ah, yes. Okay, good. So levels of contribution. We're going to just simply ask you to spiritually consider where you're spiritually fed and what the church means to you and what kind of unity you would like to return to. When the doors open, what would you like unity to be? What would you like unity to come back to be? So our speaker this morning is a star of Unity Stage and Screen, an awesome talent, and an even more awesome spirit. We're really blessed to have Jeannie Skybrook here to share her story. Jeannie?
Thank you, Jim. Hello, Unity and Marin, all my wonderful friends and people out there that I haven't yet met and people that haven't even come here yet, but you're still part of us, aren't you? Yay! I just love to talk about faith in action. But first, I should probably tell you that the 12 Days of Christmas in Hawaii, it's 5 big fat pigs. And it's 1 mina bird and 1 papaya tree. Just saying. There's 10 more, but I'll tell you later. You know, the first day I walked through these doors, I sat right over there. I pledged faith in action. Now, isn't that weird? Well, I was having a tough time, and I had some really bad feelings about some of my neighbors. They were not acting right, and I actually had hate in my heart. And I'm like, this is not me. I don't like this. And a friend said, you want to go check out that Unity Church at Hamilton with me this Sunday? And I go, yeah, I think I better. And so we came, and it was faith in action. And the service ended, and in the little packet in the chair in front of me, there was the form to fill out, and I thought, I need to come back every Sunday because I really need this community. I need the spiritual teachings that they have given me here today. I need to come back. If I fill out that form for a weekly pledge, I will have to come back every week to put my money in the basket because once I make a commitment, I'm going to keep the commitment. So I did, and I think that was 2008. So I've been coming ever since and making my pledge ever since, although now I make a monthly pledge, and I have it come out of my checking account automatically because that way the board can do the budget because they have some idea of what money's coming in. And I want to tell you, one of the reasons that I could give so easily was that I was raised in the Methodist Church. My dad was a minister, and so I knew all about tithing. When I became a teenager, I got a job where I made $5 a week. Now, that was in the olden days that I actually loved making $5 a week. So when pledge time came, a couple of the board members came to visit me and asked for my pledge. Well, I made $5, so 10% of $5 is 50 cents. So I pledged 50 cents every week, and I got my little envelopes, and every week I put my 2 quarters in the envelope and put it in the collection plate. So when I came here that day, it was like that idea of tithing was not foreign to me. The idea of giving to my spiritual community was not foreign to me. And so I did it. And it's one of the best things I've ever done because I am now a part of this church. In fact, I feel like this is mine. I own this church. It's kind of like the way I own the DeYoung because I'm a member there. That's my museum. Well, this is my church. So if I want my church to be here, then I have to help support it because we don't have dues to be here. You can just walk through the door any Sunday. Well, not this year, but hopefully next year you can just walk through the door and you don't have to pay a fee in order to walk through the door. So how do we keep this thing going? Through our pledges. So I am glad to get to be a part of that. And right away I took the Unity Way of Life class because I thought, well, I want to know what Unity's all about, really. I didn't know that at the end you became a member. Well, you had a choice to be a member. I thought, oh, well, I've been coming here for about 3 months now, and I've taken the class, I might as well join. So I joined right away. And then what happens? Well, Medora leads the class, and she makes you sign up for some volunteer thing before class is over. So I signed up for to help with the book study. And I went to Petaluma to Claire and Dennis's house because it's the only thing that fit my schedule. And so I met Claire and Dennis, and they've been my good friends ever since. So I figured out right away the way you make friends here and really get to know people is to volunteer and take classes. And we have so many volunteer opportunities even now. And we have so many classes even now. We have the Getting Real with Race class that's happening. And I just took the Absolute Abundance class, which was great. And that's kind of like a little intro to the big class that's happening in a couple weeks in January. I think it's called Metamorphosis. And I am going to take that class. And I really hope that a whole passel of y'all take the class with me, because you can take it with me even though you don't live here, because it's on Zoom like everything else this year, the pandemic. It's on Zoom. And, I'm taking that class because I want to be more abundant, but not just financially, but with other parts of my life, like with relationships and with time and with experiences and health. There's just abundance in so many ways. And, I get that understanding of abundance because I'm a member here at Unity in Marin, because I come to this spiritual community. I wouldn't understand this if I wasn't here, if I didn't have this church. And that's just another reason why I support this place. I just love it so much. I'm just going to quickly say, one of the things that helped me the most was when I went through my divorce. It was really awful. It was so hard. I had been married for 25 years, and I was old. I wasn't in my 20s or 30s anymore. I was the other side. And to make this huge life change and a financially hurtful change at this age is terrifying. And I got the strength to do that here, because I really wanted to live an authentic life. I really got how I wanted to live my life, and it was not happening. And I needed to make this change to do it. And I was so scared, but finally, it's like I didn't have a choice. I had to do it. And what happened? Out there, I was not supported. I was blamed, and it was all my fault. I was bad and wrong. Here in this community, nobody judged me. Nobody questioned me. People just loved me. And when I sat here, I sat in the front row. I would cry in the front row. I wouldn't even go to the back. I just cried in the front row. And people just put their arms around me and let me be. And I don't know how, I don't think I could have done that and then be at this wonderful point in my life that I am today if it wasn't for this amazingly wonderful community that is so full of love and acceptance. Okay, moving on. The pandemic has been a really tough year for us all. hasn't it? But, it's the end of the year, and I keep trying to look back at what are the good things, because so often the year ends and we go, oh, thank God that's over. A new year is before us. But what are the good things in the past year? And, the main thing I missed was singing in a group. Just not getting to sing with the Marin Symphony Chorus and do our concerts. It was really, really hard. And I miss that so much because I love the harmonies. I love all that. But the other thing I missed on a daily basis was getting to come here and be surrounded by my Unity people and be surrounded with hugs, because I always got hugs when I came to church. And I miss that so much. So I need this church. I can't wait for us all to get our little vaccinations and we can come back here, and then I'm going to want a hug from everybody. So I just want a big pile of hugs, okay? But when I come back, I want this church to be here. I want this physical building to be here. I want the people to be here, and they can only be here if we are giving our pledges, the wealth that we have, if we share it, so that this is here for us. So I'm saving a lot of money in gasoline and bridge toll, because I used to drive a lot to go to all my music things and play ukulele with everybody all over the whole Bay Area. Well, so I have this extra money. So what I decided to do? I'm doubling my pledge for this year. And I haven't gone up to tithing, the whole 10%, because that kind of scares me. So that's why I'm taking the abundance class, because I want to not be afraid to tithe the 10%. So I just want you to know that's my goal. That's what I'm working towards. And I think we all can get closer to that than we are. But I'm trying to do my part. And I know that some of you are better off this year than before. And so maybe you could step up and pay, give more this year and then go back down later. But maybe, it's like do whatever you can to help us keep this here. And for those of you that don't have the money, because I get it. I mean, there was a time that things were so hard for me, I didn't have any money for the basics, like toothpaste and toilet paper. I mean, I had no money, and I was trying to support a child and keep us safe with some place to live and food, and I did not have anything. So if you have nothing, I get it. I really get it. But if you have a little something, can you give $5 a week? Can you give $5 a month to just make your claim to this community? It's like do whatever you can. I could probably stand up here and talk forever, but I'm getting the high sign to get my little butt off the stage here. And the stage is my happy place. As you've noticed, I sing whenever I can. So all I'm saying to you is, claim what you love. If you love this church, if you love this community, claim it. Fill out the form and claim it. And let's all be here when this pandemic is over. I want to see you all here. And if you don't know me, my name is Jeannie Skybrook, and I want you to come up to me and say hi and give me a hug.
Works that support and spiritually feed the larger community. Won't you support our work with a pledge to the Faith in Action campaign? Simply go to unityandmarin.org for the quick and simple steps to make your pledge. Thank you.
So there are three ways to give very simply. You can go to the Unity website, unityandmarin.org, click on donate, and very easy steps to follow through. Since we know life is on cell phones, we have some very simple text to give instructions. All you need to know is the number to dial in, 84321, and Unity in Marin. You'll be prompted to step through very simple prompts to follow. Text a dollar amount to 84321, follow the prompts. It will ask what church. It's Unity in Marin. Please make note of that. If you have any challenges or issues with that, please call Dory in the office. She's also an easy way to make a contribution. There's her phone number up above. Unity, thank you. Again, please keep in mind what unity you wish to return to. Thank you.
So thank you all for being here today. We have a few announcements for the community. I'd like to say that the number to reach Dory in the office is 415-475-5000 and press 0. That's 415-475-5000 and press 0 to reach Dory in the office. Coming up here on January 3rd, we'll have our virtual drive. Actually, it's not virtual, it's an actual, but it's a drive-through burning bowl ceremony. We'll be hosting that outdoors here in the parking lot, so that starts at 9:30. The service is at 9:30, and the drive-through begins at 10:30 here at 600 Palm Drive in Novato. That's always the Burning Bowl is always a wonderful time of year to come and release and get ready for the new year, so please come out for that. Dr. Cindy Aker is also continuing her Getting Real with Race. That resumes on January 6th. It's, again, a Zoom class at 6 p.m., and everyone I've talked to has really had a wonderful time in that conversation. As you know, Unity is founded on prayer, and we do have prayer chaplains available for you now. You can call us again at 415-475-5000 and press 0 to leave a message, and a prayer chaplain will call you back. And if you care to, you can also send an email to silentprayercircle@unityinmarin.org for a prayer request. We'd like to thank our flower sponsors, the newly married Joel and Santon. Thank you for your gift to help beautify our church in celebration of the new year. And at this time, we will sing, just a minute, there's something else.
I stood up to say thank you all for listening today and for tuning in today. And thank you, each of you that are here, of the essential staff that is here that helps to keep the doors open and running. Please know it is not happening here. We are, it's sort of like underground. There is just a whole lot going on to the extent that we can do everything that we can do. So again, here on this last Sunday of this year, know that we are here. We are here for you. You are here for us. And together, we all come together as one. So now we're going to do the prayer for protection.
Yes, we are. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. So it is. Thank you.
Amen. We're done. Amen. And thank you. Thank you all.